Oh, I already got it posted.
Hey, Joyce, this is Chad. Do we have anyone else waiting to enter the meeting?
No.
Nope. Okay. All right, everyone. Again, this is Chad McCowan at CAMPO. I got a notice from Emily Barone today, our chair, that she would not be able to attend the meeting today. And as you might know, we currently don't have a vice chair. So what we've done in the past in this situation when our chair and vice chair weren't available was move the action items to the next meeting and just continue the task scheduled with the information items. So that's what our plan is for today. So we will move the election of officers and the meeting summary to the next meeting. I will note we did have a meeting for the officer nominating subcommittee, and they have a recommendation to make. So we'll just have that at the next meeting. And so we will move on to, unless there's any questions there, I don't see any hands raised. Okay, we can move on then to our information items. On item 4, which is here.
This is actually an action item.
This is an action item?
Yeah.
Okay.
We could, I mean, the board doesn't meet until April if you wanted to wait until the March meeting.
We'll do information now and come back in March for that.
Okay, that's fine.
Go over it again. Yep.
All right, so this will be just an information item, so please ignore the recommendation slide at the very end. But as we have explained, this is an item that we do every year. Congress passed in 2012 and 2016. There was a mandate that state DOTs, MPOs, and transit agencies adopt what's known as a transportation performance management system, which was basically an approach to determine whether our investment and policy decisions are being used to achieve national performance goals. CAMPO utilizes this process through performance-based project selection criteria. We monitor the impact of the investments that we make, especially through planning products like the TIP, the RTP, and the other studies that we do. What we also do is we adopt regional targets, which is what we're here to discuss today. Next slide, please. So the way it works is that, excuse me, Congress sets what's known as performance measured goal areas. That's on the left side of the slide. And then the Federal Highway Administration, the Federal Transit Administration then create individual goals and performance measures to determine how those goal areas are being met. The state DOT, the MPO, and the transit agencies are then responsible for developing targets and plans and programs designed to achieve those targets. As a reminder, that's something that we discuss on an annual basis, is that CAMPO, along with every other MPO in the state, just adopt TxDOT's targets that is almost exclusively due to the the fiscal and resource burden that it takes to create our own targets. Therefore, what we do is it is vastly easier and vastly cheaper to just adopt the states. Next slide, please. And these are the targets. Many of you are probably familiar with this slide. On the left there, well, let me just say that there's 25 performance measures over 5 categories. On the left is the individual performance measures, and on the right column is the actual target, and what's in the parentheses was the target from the previous year. As you can see, almost all of the targets are the exact same from the year before, because TxDOT is just maintaining the same targets as last year. Next slide. Now, this presentation is the only way that we look at our performance measures throughout the year. We maintain a dynamic dashboard that's available on the CAMPO website, which is available for the public. We keep PM1, PM2, and PM3 data available there for y'all to see, not just the performance measures, but our performance against that. Next slide. And again, we're not seeking the recommendation because we don't have a chair or vice chair. So that's pretty much my presentation. Thank you for your time. I look forward to any questions or discussion.
Brian, do you have a question?
Yeah, just a quick question. Those performance measures, those are system wide. So say we do like 3 projects, each of the projects isn't being measured against any of those goals. It's just if the projects are going towards reducing that goal in the system. Is that correct?
It's not a project-based performance measure. It's more of like fatalities, your fatality rate, serious injuries, that sort of thing. And that's statewide also.
Thanks.
Angela, do you have a question?
No, sorry.
Okay,
Sorry I'm late.
Okay, anyone else? I don't see any other hands up. Anyone else have any other questions? Okay, and like Nir said, the board doesn't have a meeting in March, so we'll come back to the TAC to request approval to take this to the board at their April meeting.
Yes.
Okay. So moving on to planning activities, we actually have quite a few planning activities to report on. So I think we'll just go Will and then Nick, and then Brian, we'll do that.
Yep.
Okay, Will, works for me.
Hey folks, at the January TAC meeting, I presented on the draft 2050 RTP. Just want to, now that the second round of public outreach is open, so from February till April, I also wanted to remind people on the TAC that deadline for your feedback, it says TPB right there, but that should say TAC feedback. I'm requesting that by March 14th. You can send it to my email address. This gives us some time to finalize things ahead of our March 24th visit with the TAC, in which we will be providing information on the final 2050 RTP ahead of coming to the TAC in April for a recommendation on that final plan. Next slide, please. Just wanted to also provide a brief informational update on our approach to Title VI in the RTP. The draft RTP that I presented in January covered this in a section called equity. We since then had several executive orders which directed us to focus on our Title VI analysis. So I want to just say that the way in which we're doing the analysis has not changed dramatically. We are still considering vulnerable populations in our analysis using the same methodology that CAMPO used for the 2045 plan. So this considers Title VI protected classes, as well as low-income seniors, persons with disabilities, zero-income households, and persons with limited English proficiency. We just pivoted that section a little bit to focus on Title VI protected classes. If you have any questions about the changes between the version presented at the TAC and then the version that was presented to the board, that is the version that was revised following the release of executive orders, feel free to contact me and be happy to chat with you more about it. One other quick update, just to let folks know, if you've used the map viewer for the constrained illustrative project list, we have updated that viewer to include the ability to filter by attribute. So if you want to just look at projects that have your agency as a sponsor or a co-sponsor, you're able to filter by those attributes now. That, I guess, should we ask for questions before moving on?
Yep.
Any questions on those updates on the draft RTP?
All right, Nick.
Just a quick reminder, everybody, that for the Regional Safety Action Plan, we have our second round of outreach that's open right now. So if you go to campo-rsap.com, you can find all the information there. You or your PIO office may have been contacted by our outreach team, so please spread that information far and wide if you can, and let's get some good feedback on this round. Thank you, everybody.
Right.
All right, thanks everybody. I've got about 4 updates I wanted to provide. One of the most critical ones probably is that the Transportation Improvement Program, as well as the statewide Transportation Improvement Program, the TIP and the STIP, are under review in DC by the Office of General Counsel. They are reviewing all STIPs and TIPs across the country for compliance with the executive orders. So right now, kind of everything's in flux. We don't really know how long this review will take or what the impacts will be on project implementation, but just wanted to point that out. We'll provide further updates as we receive them. We were notified on Friday that that's the case. And so we're just still trying to figure things out as they're going along. But until then, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. In relation to that, we still have not received further guidance on the carbon reduction program funding. That's part of the current project call. If you were aware, we discussed this at the policy board meeting a couple of weeks ago, but essentially carbon reduction program funding is on pause currently until further notice, but we are still moving forward with the project call readiness assessments until we figure out what's going on with that funding source. Related to the readiness assessments, we're finalizing those now. We should be releasing those in early March. So look forward to those being released soon if you submitted a project. And then the final update is that we do have a 5310 project call going on right now. The due date for those is March 14th. So this is mostly for nonprofits and some local governments to provide transit services for individuals with disabilities and the elderly. So yeah, 4 updates. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. Thank you.
Sid, if there's any questions on any of those items. Okay, not seeing any. We have the dates for the next meetings. Yeah, so the next policy board meeting, as I mentioned, that's typically was canceled for March. The next policy board meeting will be on 14th of April, and then our next CAC meeting, we'll bring back the action items as well as other items, will be on March 24th. And not seeing any other questions, with that, we will adjourn the meeting at 2:14.